So have you ever paused before sending that email? Waited just a little too long before pitching that client? Maybe talked yourself out of applying because you weren't ready, quote unquote. So let's call it what it is. It's hesitation, right? And I believe hesitation is one of the most expensive habits a woman can have in her business. Let's talk about it. So not because it costs you money necessarily up front, but because it costs opportunity, positioning, influence, speed to lead, the real currency of leadership. So when I coach high performing women, I don't see a lack of talent, ever. I only see a lack of ultimately jumping in, executing, and hesitation. So hesitation can sound like this. Let me think about it a little while longer. Or I just need to fix one more thing before I launch. Or I want to be perfect before anybody sees it. Hence me on social media all the time that I had to get over, right? So meanwhile, someone else, not smarter, not more qualified, not more experienced, takes action faster. And they own the market that you were meant to lead. So here's the truth. Most women don't want to admit that we don't hesitate because we are unsure. We hesitate because we are afraid of being seen trying. So trying and not being perfect. Trying, not being judged, trying and not immediately ultimately winning in the eyes of others. So somewhere along the way, we were taught that it's safer to wait, polish, overthink, and ultimately to prepare in silence until everything feels certain or perfect. But in business, the woman who moves first almost always wins, not the woman who waits until she feels ready. So let me give you another example. So early in my career, I had an opportunity to step into a leadership role that I didn't feel necessarily ready for. And I remember thinking, I don't have all the systems, credentials, I don't have everything figured out. I still make mistakes and I didn't want to look unprepared. So I hesitated. And 2 months later, someone else with much less experience, but more willingness to say yes, took that position. And that role later opened the doors and built their, accelerated their entire career, not because they were the best person for it, but because they were the first person. So that moment changed how I operate today. So if an opportunity aligns with my mission today, I say yes before I let hesitation talk me out of it for any reason. And here's what hesitation actually can cost. So it's speed, markets move faster, the agent, founder, executive who acts first sets the tone that everyone else typically will follow. It can cost visibility. So if you're not seen, you're not selected. And hesitation can ultimately keep you hidden. It can cost authority. So every time you move with confidence, even before you fully are ready, you build credibility. And remember, action creates momentum. Waiting can create anxiety. So let that sink in. Hesitation can multiply anxiety. Action can multiply your confidence. So I tell my clients this all the time. Clarity does not come from the decisions. Clarity comes from making them. You don't become confident and then show up. You show up and confidence will follow. So the faster, way to grow your business, your leadership and your income is super simple. Decide faster, move sooner, and trust that you will figure it out along the way, as long as it aligns with you. So here's my challenge for you. The next time an opportunity crosses your path, that's within an alignment, right? Before your mind starts listing all the reasons why wait, anchor into this thought. Hesitation is expensive. Action is an investment. So say yes, even if your voice shakes a little, send the proposal, book the call, even if you're not perfectly ready or polished, launch at 80% instead of waiting for that 100. Done and moving beats perfect and pause every single time. So you were not called to play small. You were not called to wait for permission, and you were definitely not called to watch someone else build what you hesitated to. So what I've learned is the most expensive thing you can do in business is hesitate. The smartest thing you can do is move.